Hello, I'm Dr. Conor Bell, and I teach bassoon at West Texas A&M University. This video is to help you prepare for the 2023-2024 Texas All-State Competition. This video is covering number 23, Poco Adagio, in your Weissenborn book. This is our lyrical etude for the competition this year. And take a note of the form because we're not quite doing what it says. We're just playing through with no repeats. So we can ignore the da capo in this one. When you're actually doing the competition, they might add some cuts because it is a fairly long etude. While you're working on this one, we should be very dramatic. We've got lots of accents. We have caesuras, we have fermatas, we have fortes, we have rin fortes, that little R in front of the F, which just means get a little more. And we have a lot of grace notes and appoggiaturas that add a lot of color and interest to this piece. So your idea in the back of your head while you're working on this one is that you should be dramatic. This should not be a boring flat etude. There's lots of contrast. Make sure anytime Weissenborn gives you a hairpin, especially these little here and there, there and back again, hairpins in the middles of measures leading to dissonant pitches, really go for those. That's a great musical opportunity for you. There are a couple of things that might help you in this one. Sometimes we're slurring into a high B flat. If you have a fast airstream and you have a good read and you're comfortable playing scales up to your high B flats, this etude is mostly in G minor. So it would be a good idea to be practicing your G minor scales, maybe the natural minor, maybe a harmonic minor, melodic minor, get them all in the rotation, but don't just do them 1 or 2 octaves. You've got to play high B flats. So try playing your G minor scales all the way up to a B flat, or even a high D, if that's in your range. If you can play it up to a high D, then the B flats don't seem so high, and you can approach them with a little more ease. To slur into them from those big leaps of, an octave and a third, make sure you have a really fast airstream and there's no tension in your throat. You're just singing out this big dramatic interval. It might help you. My usual fingering for high B flat is 1, 2, 3, the resonance key, the A vent key and the C sharp key in my left hand, and then 1, 2, F in my right hand. If that's not working for you, you can try lifting the first finger in your right hand for those slurs. I don't do this very often, but it might be helpful in this particular etude to get those really smooth. I also use it in the next etude, the one in B flat minor later in the book. Otherwise, for this one, make sure you're very dramatic. You're very engaging in your playing. When we get to the G major section with all of those grace notes, take a close look at those. Most of these are what we call appoggiaturas. They're a little 16th note with no slash through it. And so as your book probably tells you, with the execution little mini stave above that, they're placed on the beat like a 16th note. So the first beat is a 16th note, G, tied or slurred into a dotted 8th note B natural. That's how those work. There are, in this section, 2 actual grace notes. So if you see in the second line from the end in the third measure, that octave D, that little D grace note has a slash through it, so it's actually a grace note. So it's bum ba ya da 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 bum, like that in rhythm. So with those, I would take the grace notes out to get comfortable with the rhythm. And in that one in particular, I add a little bit of a tenuto, a little lean on the C sharp so that it's clearly a downbeat note to our listener. Once you're comfortable with the rhythm, then add the grace note in. Same thing for the second measure from the end. All the other ones, the appoggiaturas, not actual grace notes, All of those, I never practice the section without those because they are real notes. They're principal notes, they're part of the phrase. So always include those in and make sure they're on the downbeats.